Welcome back and congratulations on completing the wildest year, I'm sure, of all of our educational careers. Hopefully you don't have any stories to top this one, but we all had a different experience, right? Some of us stayed online the entire time. A lot of us went hybrid. I'm sure some went back in person and could actually teach music. And then even some states, I'm sure, were pretty close to normal towards the end of the year. So I know we didn't all have the same experience, but I want to give 3 tips to elementary music teachers about what we can do to set ourselves up for success for next year. My first bit of advice is to communicate with your administration about expectations for next year. Not that anyone has a crystal ball, but I'm sure they know a little bit more than we do about what's going to be expected in a month, maybe in 2 months, and hopefully by August. I would encourage you to ask all of the following questions. I'm going to put them on the screen so you can see them. It's important to have all these questions answered so that you know what's expected of you. It's highly possible that what we prepare for won't even happen, but if by any chance it does happen, you will be the one who is ready to go, calm and rested and ready to take on the year. It's important to know if you're going to be able to play instruments. It's important to know if you're going to be able to sing. It's important to know if students are going to be wearing masks. It's important to know if you're going to be allowed in your classroom. Some of us, including myself, did not teach music inside of our classrooms. Even when I was inside my classroom, we were not really teaching music as much as like a music appreciation as opposed to like a music performance class. And the reason you need answers for step 1 is because step 2 is going to be preparing your room for those expectations. A mistake I made was I put all my wonderful instruments in the back of the room, the ukuleles, the guitars, the steel drums, the xylophones, they're all on display. And then I had a class come in and they go, wow, when do we get to touch that? And I go, no, never? Not this year. And then you just see the disappointment take over their face like, well, this is a bummer. I think, man, what was I thinking? Why did I have all these incredible instruments on display knowing full well we would not be able to touch them this year? And it crossed my mind right then and there that the room has to be filled with opportunity and not lack of opportunity, right? When they come in the room, they need to be able to see things that we can interact with. So if next year everyone needs their own pair of drumsticks, we need drumsticks on display. If it's going to be lots of scarves, lots of egg shakers, we need those items on display so they can go, when do we get to use those? And you go, ooh, as soon as I'm done with the instructions, that's exactly what we're going to do. And there's excitement building. There's a lot of energy that goes from, that's the one I'm going to go for. Oh, now it's my turn to grab it. There's some excitement there. So another mistake I made is I have these wonderful stages, portable stages in my room, and I want to have them out. I love them as like alternative seating. I love them for just putting more people in the room or having tiered standing. But there's no way to be on those and socially distanced, so really they need to go away. Anything that could not be used really needs to be gone so that students don't even feel the temptation to ask of when do we get to use it. So your room gets set up in a way where everything you're allowed to use is visible. It might be bare, that's fine. We need that floor space anyway to spread these students out. My third and final tip is to truly unplug from work. And I know a lot of you already have your ways of doing that, whether it's muting work emails, uninstalling the apps, uninstalling Dojo, putting up your away messages. It's all great and dandy. But a new angle that we haven't had to work with before is how much of our social media is dominated by teacher help groups right now. I think it's incredibly important that we find a way to also remove our social media, which for a lot of us is a great escape, away from those teacher help groups where every day there's a new problem. More like every 5 minutes there's a new problem. And I find myself feeling an anxiety where I go, oh, my friend just got married. This friend got a new dog. This friend had a great day. Oh, somebody in this country is having a problem with their administrator. Oh, my heart goes out to them. Scroll. Oh, this person needs a lesson about dolphins. Do I have a lesson about dolphins? Let me see if I can find my lesson about dolphins. And I find myself willing to help, of course, but anxious and filled with this feeling of like, can I help? I should be able to help. These are my people. And I think part of unplugging this summer is going to be unfollowing the groups. Now, when I say unfollowing on Facebook, that just means you don't receive the notifications in your feed. So if people post in the group, you're still in the group. You can still visit those private groups, but it just means posts from that group do not end up on your homepage on Facebook. And I recommend it for every platform. Most platforms have an ability to stay in the group, but just kind of mute the notifications. My phone still gets dings if people post in certain groups because I was so willing to help in the middle of the year, at the beginning of the year. I was ready to throw my lessons at them. I was ready to do anything I could to help out. And so I set my phone up to ding every time. And now it's time. It's time to stop the dings. So I encourage you to mute or unfollow, or even for some of them you can say snooze and set a time limit. In August, by all means, I'm not saying leave the groups. I want to reiterate, I want you to stay in those groups because they've been a lifesaver for most of us. But when it comes back to August and we're all coming back, you can turn those notifications back on if you'd like. Or maybe you find the best way to be in those groups is to check it when you're emotionally ready to be involved. Those are my 3 tips to end the school year and start your summer. But I have one more thing to leave you with. I have a short poem that I want to read to you that I wrote after a day at school where I realized it was so tough to smile at students with my mask on. This poem's called, "I Used to Fix Most Things with a Smile." My smile tells the students that everything is okay. My smile tells the students their mistake will go away. I use it often because it supports them, but then it all changed in one day. I could fix most things with a smile, but then the world changed for a while. We went online to have class or came to school with a mask, but that's when I learned the power of my smile. I saw a student succeed, so I gave them a smile. They stared back blankly for a while. I realized they couldn't see my mouth, and they wondered what my stare was all about. So I held up my thumb towards that child. The thumbs up became my new reaction to show that the students were beyond my satisfaction, but it didn't convey all the things my smile can say. Still, I smiled behind my mask at them. As time went on, I learned I didn't have to smile, throw my thumbs up, and wave it for a while. My intentions weren't the same. The students learned this game. We all had this expressionless new style. At the end of a lesson, a student raised their hand. They showed me their victories of the day, and because their mask was too big, it accidentally slid enough to show a smile. How grand. I made a smile, but only a few clues providing, like small movements on my face and my cheekbones rising. But I could see the connection. The student noticed my affection, and now after class, I'm the one still smiling. I wrote this in an attempt to express how difficult it is to follow all of the guidelines and maintain emotional connections with the students. There's no replacement for the smile, right? We would smile to say good job, would smile to say, hey, it's okay, would smile to say, yes, you're doing the right thing, or you went above and beyond. And when that went away, we had to kind of adapt. And some of us did well, and some of us did not, and that's fair. I was on the did not team for a long time. I know even the students struggle with this. How do they show that they're having fun? How do they show they're doing okay? And the thumbs up game became very real for me. Every class would go in, I would just give a random thumbs up and just see who gave one back. And then I would check on the students who didn't. And I cannot wait for that to be over. So good luck to all of you. I hope you can definitely unplug this summer after everything gets set up for next year. And I will see you soon.